The anime Naruto is one of my favorite anime of all time. It has a lot of great characters and a lot of great messages, but the thing that I took away from Naruto was the importance of friendships, the importance of bonds, and how those friendships and those bonds shape our lives. And so I'm going to look at how Naruto's bonds before he made them, while he was making them, and after he made them shaped and changed his life. And when I say bond, I'm talking about connections and friendships. So this can be anything from a deep, personal, close best friend, a family member, someone you work with. Really, what it's talking about or what I'm thinking about is the people that are in your inner circle. And this thing changes over life. The friends you had in high school, most times they're not the friends you'll have in college, and mostly they don't stay with you. Friendships come and they go. Some friendships, some bonds last, and they'll go through different eras and times of your life. But for the most part, these friendships and these bonds are constantly changing. And so when we look at Naruto at the very beginning, although he did have some bonds, he had the third Hokage, he did have a relationship with Iruka Sensei, although it was a tumultuous one. He was searching for bonds. He was searching for connection because the decision they made in Konoha, he was alienated. He was separated, and so he would act out. He would be seeking validation and connection. And so he was constantly being a version of himself, any version of himself, so that he can get connection, so that he can form a bond. And that shows you, it kind of leads, or it kind of tells us the importance. It shows us we're built for connection. I'm not saying that we have to be party people or that we have to always be out or we have to always be around people, but humans are built for connection. We're built to be in community. We thrived. We took the next step of evolution once we understood the importance of having a group and a community and how we could work together. Their strengths, our weaknesses, their strengths, and so on and so forth. So in the beginning, we see Naruto, and he's just trying to get validated, even past the point where he starts to make friends with Sasuke, with Sakura, with the rest of the Konoha Nine. He's still trying to get that validation. So sometimes there's a bravado there. There's a let me prove myself. And we see that with Naruto. And then eventually we start to see him actually make these connections. And it's rewarding. There's something inside of us that feels happy about seeing Naruto start to get these connections, start to see Sasuke slowly let down his guard and acknowledge Naruto. And that's a part of bonds. That's a part of the friendships when you are acknowledged by the people around you. You're acknowledged, your value is acknowledged. And we deal with this in our day-to-day lives. It's important. It feels good when the people that you have respect for, the people that you like, feel the same way about you. That mutual, as they say on this app, having mutuals is a good feeling. And so in the middle of Naruto, we start to see how all the friendships and all the bonds are being made. And then we get a really good contrast with Gaara and Naruto. Whereas Naruto began to make his bonds and his connections, Gaara never did. He never did. And so, whereas both of them could have become monsters, only Gaara turned into a monster. And that was because he never had an escape from the loneliness that Naruto was facing. And you see Naruto, and when they go to Gaara's flashback, which is one of the saddest parts of Naruto, he's trying, just like Naruto, but then he just gives up. And so over the course of the middle, we start to see the bonds. And even with Gaara, which I would still consider the middle, we see once he begins to accept and acknowledge and seek bonds, he changes and he shifts. And I love it. And then lastly, when we see Naruto and everybody who's received the bonds and is willing to accept it, it changes you. The people that are put in your life, that are around you, they're there for a reason. They're there to shape you. You're there to shape them. It's good to help people, like in other countries. It's good to help people all around. But what about the people that are right around you? Those are the people that are going to help you become the person you need to be. They're there for a reason. And so the thing that I took away from Naruto, the biggest thing that I took away from Naruto is how important bonds are. how important friendships and relationships are. Each relationship has a value and an importance in your life, and you need to look at all of them and understand what is the purpose of it. I'm not saying that only be friends with someone if they can give something to you, but maybe they're a good listener. Maybe they are someone who is very smart and can show you some things. Maybe they're fun to go out with. All of these things have value and they help shape you. And so, just like Naruto, and a good contrast is Gaara in the beginning versus Gaara at the end. It's important that we have friends. It's important that we value our friends. And just like Naruto, never give up on your bonds and your friendships. And that's what I took away from Naruto.